But this time round, they're needing more help than ever before to assist those feeling the pressure this silly season.
The joy of gift giving is not always the case for some people leading into the holiday season. The pressure of trying to provide for loved ones over the Christmas period is what's killing the holiday for many, according to the Salvation Army.
For us, Christmas time is always a big time. We don't slow down for Christmas, we work up. And this year more so, especially with demands on food and that for the incident in Kaikoura.
Every year the Sallies put together food parcels to help give a bit of extra support for people feeling the pressure. The number of these has gone up by 12% this year compared to last. More than 2,000 families needed help this year, and they're only expecting to get busier over Christmas.
Don't blow the budget on presents. You know, it's the times that people remember. It's not the gifts. So, especially young children. So just have a good time with your family, be together and try and stick within your budgetary limits.
New Zealand used to slow down at Christmas time, but we don't now. You know, people work right through and, you know, whereas we might have had no staff on for a period over Christmas, now we have to have people on. You know, things happen. During the Christmas break.
Box by box, they're trying to remind people the silly season should be about positivity, health and happiness, and say there's help out there for those that need it. Sam Pickering, CTV News.
The care packages and supply calls for those in Kaikoura after last week's quake may have halted for now, but the help just keeps on coming. Eastern Christchurch groups have rallied together to provide those living in damaged North Canterbury towns a free bus trip to the Kaiapoi Carnival and Santa Parade.
The people of Kaiapoi were wanting to do something, so we thought that this was just sort of a little idea that we went rolling with and thought it's so good to pay forward. People paid forward to Kaiapoi when it was our turn 6 years ago, so it's about Kaiapoi giving back to these guys.
5 buses have been donated to the trip by the North Canterbury Rural Support Trust and Go Bus. They say it's all about 2 quake-affected communities reaching out to others in the same situation.
We just feel for the North Canterbury people and the Kaikoura families. We've walked in their shoes 1,000 miles. We've done it here in Kaiapoi, so it's our time to pay it back.
It's about the people. And gestures are so important, and we don't have the opportunity to do a lot of the big things or even contribute a lot of money to the things that Kaikoura needs at the moment. But as people, we can all act and we can all show heart.
The parade will take place on the 3rd of December. Tanya Green, CTV News.
Calls are being made once again to tidy up derelict and abandoned plots of land in the central city to keep the recovery flowing. And it's the Christchurch City Council who are under the pump to encourage landowners to improve the vacant sites.
This is an all too familiar sight in central Christchurch: graffiti, weeds and makeshift car parks.
It's revolting.
And business people have had enough, calling for the Christchurch City Council to step in and force those who own sites like these to clean up or pay up.
Double, triple their rates if it's a fire hazard, if it's an unsanitary building site, not just limited to the central city, but citywide. And then perhaps the revenue that you gather for that, you could perhaps put into transitional projects or help beautify areas where there isn't going to be a development in the short term, and perhaps make Christchurch look a little bit nicer in the interim.
But something needs to happen because it's taking too long, it's too slow. We need to actually get the city re-engaged again. We've got a lot of tenants reinvesting in the city. They need to be walking safely around their properties and actually enjoying the environment they're in.
They say leaving cleared demolition sites as wastelands is only holding back Christchurch's recovery.
Trying to get tourism going back in the city, and what do they look at? They're looking at a broken city still. We don't want to be a broken city. We want to be a recovering city, not a broken city.
It's a frustrating problem for some who have been working to improve the city for the past 6 years.
We're just down by Strangers Lane. You've had Sean Stockman, Dean Marshall that have done a fantastic development with Strangers. You can't see it here, it's beyond here. But then you've got this place here. So most people come down here because they want to buy a beer or a cup of coffee, whereas you go 20 steps this way and you're more likely to buy methamphetamine or something. It looks like a P-lab.
They say the money shouldn't be an issue, as it doesn't take much to have a bit of a clean-up and install some nicer features like plants or better fencing, and there's plenty of community groups willing to lend a hand for nothing. Tanya Green, CTV News.
And it was the green at Pendleton given the workout today by our Black Jacks, who are going through the final stage of their preparations.
The world's best bowls players have arrived in Christchurch. The Black Jacks have been in camp since last Wednesday, adjusting to the pace of the Christchurch greens.
Quite an excitable bunch. They're all, keyed up, and so we've sort of, with getting out and getting onto the training greens, has been able to dissipate some of that pent-up sort of readiness and eagerness. But yeah, it's a real buzz in the camp.
One player who won't need much time to adjust is Caitlin Inch. The 21-year-old can tap ready for her first World Champs.
I'm so excited. It's just going to be good to have the family and support here. And I know the greens and the surroundings, so yeah, it gives me a bit of confidence going into it.
While the team had time to enjoy the sun in a laid-back atmosphere today, it will be all game faces tomorrow when they begin a 3-day test against Australia.
They're right up there, so it's going to be really tough, but that's exactly what we need at this stage. Some good, tough matches just to test ourselves and give us a bit of confidence to go into Worlds.
Next week's tournament may be the first for Inch. It's a different story, though, for outgoing coach Dave Edwards.
I think that the timing is right for me to move on. I've been in the role 10 years now. I think it is time for a fresh voice for the players, some fresh ideas, and so it is going to be a sentimental last event, and it is going to be sad in that respect. But I'm hoping to go out in a blaze of glory.
The team's sure to do all they can to bring home a big haul for the coach. The first day of the tournament rolls into action next Tuesday. Gordon Findlater, CTV Sport.